Hi Springs Ranch Bobcats, this is Mrs. Gumucio from the Art Room, and this week's lesson we are going to be talking about having a growth mindset. So what does that mean to have a growth mindset? The idea is that your mind is always growing. So just like you build stronger, leaner muscles when you exercise, you build a stronger mind when you do activities like reading, writing, math, and even art. Sometimes some of those activities can be challenging for us. So the idea is to develop a positive self-talk when you come up to challenges. So what are some of your favorite phrases when you come up to a challenging situation? Maybe it's something like, I've got this, or I'm stronger than I think I am, or I can do this. I'm sure you probably talked about this with your teacher last year. Maybe you want to take a sticky note or a small piece of paper and write down one of your favorite phrases, put it on your desk as you're doing e-learning, something like, I've got this. Today I'm going to read a story called Regina's Big Mistake. It's one of my favorite books to read at the beginning of the school year because it talks about what we could do when we make a piece of artwork and we accidentally make a mistake during the process. So please enjoy. After this project, please watch the videos by Brain Pop if you're in grades 3rd through 5th, or Brain Pop Junior if you're in grades kindergarten through 2nd grade, to get some ideas on how you could make your own jungle at home with your crayons, markers, or colored pencils. Regina's Big Mistake by Marissa Moss. Everyone in Miss Lee's class got a piece of paper. Everyone was supposed to draw a jungle of a rainforest. That meant Regina too. Regina stared at the big blank piece of paper in front of her. Her fingers froze on her crayon. Where should she begin? Have you ever felt that way when you started an art project and looked at that big piece of paper, not knowing where to get started? That's very normal. Stuart had already drawn 2 trees thick with leaves. Natalie was concentrating on a fierce lion. All around Regina, jungle sprouted up, but her paper stayed blank. What are you making? Joked Joshua. An invisible jungle? Ha! Regina blushed. She hunched over her paper and lightly touched it with the tip of her crayon. She started to draw a jungle flower. She drew one petal, then another, but the second petal was bigger than the first one. Regina groaned. Ugh, a mistake. She tried to erase the second petal, but crayon doesn't erase, and she tore the paper instead. She crumpled it up quickly before anyone could see her ugly mistake. What happened to your drawing? Asked Mrs. Lee. I made a mistake, Regina mumbled. Well, try to draw around it next time, said Mrs. Lee. You're wasting paper. Regina moaned. Regina smoothed her new piece of paper. Anything was possible as long as it was empty. But somehow her hand could never draw what she saw in her head. Stuart's jungle was almost finished now, full of strange, ripe fruits and colorful birds. Natalie's lion stalked an antelope. Regina wanted to cry. She could never draw anything so beautiful. Almost done? Asked Mrs. Lee. 10 more minutes. Regina picked up a brown crayon. She had to draw something. Carefully, she started to draw a tree like Stuart's. Hey, don't copy me, he growled. I'm not, said Regina, and she quickly drew 3 big branches on her tree. But those heavy branches made her tree look funny. Regina bit her lip. Was this another mistake? Could she draw around it like Miss Lee said? She looked again at the jungles growing around her. It's not a mistake. I could fix it. That's where her positive self-talk is coming in. muttered Regina. She started to draw a lion under the tree. Copycat, said Natalie with a sneer. I am not, Regina gulped. My lion is different from yours. And she quickly drew a tongue hanging out of the lion's mouth. My lion's thirsty, said Regina. He needs water. So she drew a lake, then a frog, some fish, and a duck to go in the lake, and some flowers alongside it. The jungle grew and grew until it filled the paper. Regina smiled. All her jungle needed now was a sun. She carefully drew a circle, but the crayon wobbled and the circle had a dent in it. I've ruined it, she cried, just when it was getting good. No more paper, warned Mrs. Lee. You'll have to make the best of it. Yeah, joked Joshua. Just pretend it's a very lumpy banana. What do you think, boys and girls? What should Regina do with her mistake on her yellow sun? Regina looked hard at the wobbly circle. It wasn't a sun, but it wasn't a lumpy banana either. Suddenly she recognized what it was. It was a moon. She drew a face in her moon and surrounded it with stars and comets and a purple-black sky. Wow, said Stuart, what a great idea. A jungle at night. I wish I'd thought of that, said Natalie. Mrs. Lee tacked all the pictures up on the wall. Good work, Regina, she said, smiling. I love your moon. The jungles glowed with their bright colors. Each one was different. Each one was beautiful. And even with all her mistakes, Regina thought hers was perfect. So boys and girls, sometimes our mistakes can be the very best things to happen to us. I hope you have fun drawing a jungle. I can't wait to see your artwork. Please include at least 1 or 2 animals and lots of different types of plants and trees in your drawings. I look forward to seeing you in person back at Springs Ranch. I hope you guys have an awesome week. We'll see you soon. Bye-bye.